Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to our spiritual mornings. Let's start a wonderful day with another round of going inwards, which is happening every other morning. So let's close our eyes, straighten our backs if possible, fold our hands, and bow our head in gratitude to all the divine beings in and around us, that surround us, that complete us the way we are meant to be. Let's be grateful to the ancestors for their blessings, the angel guardians, the spirit guides for their guidance, for their magics that are around us. And let's also be thankful to the traumas that are stored inside our body, which make us do what we do, because these are lessons to be learned. So let's identify them. Let's pray that each one of them unfolds and helps us learn what we are resisting to learn. It's high time we put a stop to the resistance and enter the beautiful world of acceptance. And for this, let's just release our folded hands and keep them on our laps. For attaining this beautiful inward journey, what we must do is simply tune inwards. So feel the energy in your heart now. If you wish, you can always attract the green color from Mother Nature and see it entering your heart. If that makes it easier, you can borrow the green color and enhance the color of your heart a bit more. Once your Anahata chakra seems to be in action, you can imagine it becoming expansive. Feel the expansion and feel this green energy going everywhere in your body, top to bottom, left to right, right to left. Your body is full of this beautiful green vitality, this energy. Feel it especially becoming more active in the parts that have been hurting you physically, physical pains. Some complain of arthritic pain, some complain of lower back, knees, or wherever. Some complain of migraines. Let this green energy go in every part of your body. Now, also take in a lot of bluish white healing light coming from the universe in the middle of your palms. And see this beautiful energy flushing into every cell, fiber, atom of your being, modifying your cellular memories. Now, even if you do things which have been traumatic in the past and you're repeating them in a loop, there would be somehow acceptance coming in from your heart, because you have made your heart intentionally, conditionally expansive. Conditional because at the moment you're tuned in. Unconditional will be when at all given points of time, you're only talking the language of love with yourself, with things around you, which is not very easy, my dear co-learners, but very much attainable by continuously practice conscious living or living with the language of love. See this bluish white light flooding in your entire body, in your entire being. This bluish white silverish light is in entire body of yours, healing it. And whatever traumas you have had in the past, lives which are not even something that you can tune into right now, they are getting healed. Now, from the soles of your feet, imagine this beautiful golden healing light entering from Mother Earth. And again, coming into your entire being, your entire presence. Now you have a gorgeous collection of lights in your body. The green light, the white light, silver light, or the golden light. And these are just going everywhere in your body. If possible, tune inwards to feel the crisscross of the energies and to see the sensation in your body. I'm sure you'll be able to tune into it if you just let go. And whichever body part is right now having sensation, thank the body part for feeling it, for making you be aware of it. Even if you find there is numbness, yes, the energy is entering there. Thank the numbness. Because once you thank it, you accept it, it will pave way for all the other energy movement in your body. Yes, it's happening. See the magical light happening in your body, making you aware that it exists. The numbness or heaviness is nothing but coming from your rock consciousness that we spoke about yesterday. It's also stored trauma in parts of our body. All the dark energy is right now being taken over by the light energy. And now you are in a beautiful state of elevation, ascension, because you're pure love, pure health, pure abundance, and you're blessed beyond words. And this beautiful energy is something I want you to gift to yourself. So swirl your hand if required, or imagine a shield being created around you, right to left in circular motion. Swoosh, like a magical wand goes, so does your hand go, whether in action or just in feeling. And with one tight circle being around you, you can use the word magical word lock. And this beautiful movement was the green light, the heart light. So see yourself sitting in a beautiful green circle. So even if there's anything which is leaking from your body, it's going to be in your confined circle, protecting you. Just the way human beings live in a house, it protects it, shelters it from all adversities in Mother Nature. Similarly, whatever is happening around you in the spiritual world, you are shielded, guided, protected. Only love energy can enter it. Nothing which is of lack of love can ever even come closer. It'll simply have a repulsion. Now, second, imagine yourself again Another protection layer is coming around. Just the way a human being has aura, this green light is now being surrounded by beautiful bluish white silver light going around in circle. And when the concentric circle stops, you again see the word lock, thereby sealing the silver light outside the green light. Now, the silver light can make way into the green light very easily because it's ultimately protecting you. Similarly, the green light can make way into the silver light because it's all enhanced circle of love. What you have done right now is expanded your love, mixes with the blessings of the universe. And now the final layer. See the golden circle swirling around you, closing as a third concentric layer of your protection. She's coming from Mother Earth. That's the reason why we all live the way we do, because we're earthlings, spiritual beings having a human experience on Mother Earth. So, earthlings. And close this beautiful aura by again chanting the word lock. So now you have the heart expansion, universal light of love protection, and Mother Earth's protection, the golden yellowish healing light. So profound, so beautiful. And now you're all safe and secure, and you can put your hands together once again, fold them in abundant gratitude to everybody, every place, everything. Saying the words, the highest in me bows to the highest in you, whoever, wherever. I am in gratitude, immense gratitude. And now, take 100 seconds to be grateful for 10 things right now or whatever's happened yesterday. It may help to use lotus of gratitude. You can use both your hands and make tiny lotuses and keep opening one finger after another. Whatever you expand on grows. If you're expanding on what you have, it'll grow. But the other side is, if you expand on something's absence, the absence will be much more. And now, keep your hands folded, and it's time to pray for whatever you prayed for yourself, for the others. So spread the light, spread the love. And now open your hands to bless. Bless everybody everywhere possible. And rub your hands together. Bless your beautiful eyes and your wonderful body. And open your eyes with a beautiful smile as we had the last day today of reading the second book, which is Only Love is Real. Tomorrow is yet another new book that we start. If there's any particular book you want to start, you can let me know, because I haven't gone inward for guidance, but I will. So if there is something that you want to read, you can let me know. Otherwise, whatever is guided, I'm going to be sharing it tomorrow morning. I'm a person who just goes with guidance. That's it. So simple. I surrender. Chapter number 22. Leonardo da Vinci wrote, read me, O reader, if you find delight in me, because very seldom shall I come back into this world. Fortunately, minds more creative than mine were expertly conspiring from lofty heights to arrange a meeting between Elizabeth and Pedro. The reunion was predestined. What happened afterward would be up to them. Pedro was going to New York on business. After a few days, there he was to leave for London for 2 weeks of business and vacation before returning to Mexico. Elizabeth was going to Boston for a business meeting and then a visit with her college roommate. They would be traveling on the same airline carrier, but at different times. When she reached the gate at the airport, Elizabeth found that her plane to Boston had been cancelled. Mechanical difficulty, she was told. Destiny was at work. She was upset. She would have to call her friend and change the plans. The airlines could get her to New York and she could catch the shuttle to Boston very early the next morning. She had an important business meeting in the morning which could not be missed. Unbeknownst to her, these new arrangements put her on the same flight as Pedro. He was already there waiting for the flight to be called when she approached the gate. Catching her out of the corner of his eyes, he carefully watched her check in at the counter and then take a seat in the waiting lounge. She occupied his attention immediately, entirely. He recognized her from their brief encounters in my waiting rooms. A feeling of familiarity, of interest, overwhelmed him. His concentration was riveted on her as she opened a book. He watched her hair, her hands, how she sat and moved, and she seemed so familiar to him. He had seen her momentarily in the waiting room, but why this level of familiarity? They must have met before the time in the office. He racked his brain to find the hidden memory of where. She felt herself being watched, but this often happened to her. She tried to concentrate on her reading. Concentration was difficult. After all, they hastily changed plans, but the meditation training had helped. She was able to clear her mind and focus on her book. The feeling of being watched persisted. She looked up and saw him staring at her. She frowned, then smiled when she recognized him from the fleeting encounters in the waiting room. Instinctively, she knew this man was safe, but how could she know that? She looked at him for a moment more and then glanced back at her book, now completely unable to concentrate on the pages. Her heart began to beat more quickly and her breathing accelerated. She knew beyond any doubt that he was being pulled by her. Very soon he would approach her. She could feel him coming near. He introduced himself and they began to talk. The attraction was mutual, immediate, and very strong. Within a few minutes, he suggested that they change their seats so that they could sit together. They were more than acquaintances before the airplane left the ground. Pedro seemed so familiar to her. She clearly knew how he would move, that he would say. Elizabeth had been very psychic when she was a child. The values and beliefs of her conversation, Midwestern upbringing, had driven her intuitive talent underground, but all of her antennae were up now and at full attention. Pedro could not take his eyes away from her face. He had never been so captivated with someone's eyes before. Hers had such clarity and such depth, sky blue with dark blue ring circling them, little hazel islands floating in the blue sea that engulfed him. In his mind, he once again heard the words of the anguished woman wearing the white dress, the woman who had appeared in his current recurrent dream. Hold her hand, reach out to her. He hesitated. He wanted to hold her hand. Not yet, he thought. I hardly know her. Somewhere near Orlando. Thunderstorms began to rock the airplane as it plowed through the night sky. The sudden turbulence frightened her, and a brief expression of anxiety swept across her face. Pedro noticed it instantly, and his hand grasped her to comfort her. He knew it would. The electricity touched his heart in the flash of a moment.
Elizabeth could feel lifetimes being awakened by the current. The connection had been made. So beautiful. Listen to your heart, to your own intuitive wisdom when making important decisions, especially when deciding about a gift of destiny, such as a soulmate. Destiny will deposit its gift directly at your feet, but what you subsequently decide to do with that gift is up to you. If you rely exclusively on the advice of others, you may make terrible mistakes. Your heart knows what you need. Other people have other agendas. Isn't this so profound? Your heart knows what it needs. Other people have other agendas. And the depth of these words is something that you must explore. Anybody apart from you cannot tune into your heart. Your heart knows what's true to you, what's needed for you. It'll guide you towards it. That's why the old people, the wise people always say, listen to your heart and not your head, because there is monkey chatter there. Heart math is absolutely beautiful. Heart has its own programming, its own wiring. My father, meaning well but partially blinded because of his own fears, objected to my plans to marry Carol. As I look back, Carol was one of the destiny's wonderful gifts, a soul companion across centuries, appearing again like a beautiful rose blossoming in its season, blooming in its season. Our problem was our youth. We met when I was only 18, having just finished my freshman year at Columbia. Carol was 17, about to begin college. Within a few more months, we knew we wanted to be together always. I had no desire to see anyone else, despite warnings from family that we were too young, they did not have enough experience to make such a critical life decision. They did not understand that my heart had the experience of uncounted centuries, that it was certain beyond any rational comprehension. It was inconceivable that we would not be together. My father's agenda became clear. If Carol and I married and had a child, I might have to leave school, and my hopes of becoming a physician would be dashed. In fact, this had happened to my father. He had been in a pre-medical school at Brooklyn College during World War II, but my birth had forced him to work after he left military service. He never returned to medical school, and his dream of becoming a physician never materialized. These dreams remained a bitterly unfulfilled potential, hovering nearby, gradually attaching to his sons. This is also another truth. We, as parents or our parents, have imposed their wishes, their desires on us, which is the reason initially hierarchical work used to work. If you are something, your child will be that. If your child is that, his child will be that. Because it's a matter of pride. But the heart knows its language. So follow your heart because love is all there is. Love dissolves fear. Our love gently dissolves his fear and the projection of his fears onto us. Eventually, we were married after my first year of medical school, when Carol was graduated from college. My father came to love Carol as a daughter, and he blessed our marriage. When your intuitions, your gut feelings, your spiritual heart all know beyond any doubt, do not be swayed by the fear based argument of others, sometimes meaning well and sometimes not. They might lead you far astray from your joy. Understand this again. These last two paragraphs are so beautiful, so profound. Chapter number 23 starts with a beautiful quote from Voltaire, who says, "It is not more surprising to be born twice than once. Everything in nature is resurrection." Elizabeth called me from Boston. She had extended her vacation. Pedro had returned from London immediately after his business, and they were, there was concluded. After his business there was concluded. He was in Boston too to be with Elizabeth. They were already falling in love. They had begun to compare the experiences of past lives, which they both remembered vividly. They were discovering each other once again. "He really is special," she commented. "So are you," I reminded her. Following my experiences with Elizabeth and Petro, my practice has taken an indescribably beautiful leap into the mystical and magical. When I conduct large workshops in which each participant is presented with the opportunity to experience deeply relaxed and hypnotic states, the frequency of magical events rises dramatically. And I wish the same for all of you, dear co learners. Because when we are open and receptive to this beautiful spiritual world, and when each one of us has voluntarily taken steps, leap of faith into these magical mornings, then we are opening the gates beyond ordinary. So understand that. The range of experiences extends far beyond past lives and incarnation. Beautiful spiritual and mystical events emerge frequently and with life transforming power. I have been blessed to help facilitate these events. Here is what happened on a 2 week span. A reporter from a local newspaper attended a weekend series of seminars and workshops in Boston. She wrote the following: "Many people in wise past life regression workshops related profound emotional. Okay, you can't read? Wait. Better? One experience. Should I read again? Okay. Many people in wise past life regression workshops related profound emotional and spiritual experience. One experience was particularly dramatic. Wise had the lights turned down and asked everyone in the room to find a partner. He directed the pairs to look into each other's faces for several minutes while he guided the meditation with his voice. When the exercise was over, two women who had never met shared that they'd seen themselves at the other's sister. One woman said she kept running, seeing a nun in her partner's face. When she told her partner this, the woman replied that in the previous day's session, she'd had a past life memory in which she was a nun. Most amazing was a local woman who saw in her partner's face her 19-and-a-half-year-old brother who had been killed in World War II. Her partner was a younger woman from Wisconsin who explained that she had also had a past life memory the day before, that of being a 19-and-a-half-year-old man in army boots and fatigues, killed in a war. It had to be earlier than Vietnam. The healing experiences experienced by the local woman was palpable in the room. Love dissolved anger. That's the spiritual part. Valium doesn't do it. Prozac doesn't do it. So when you have a heartburn, you have acidity, yes, you can look into what you ate the day prior, but also see what you fed yourself spiritually a day prior. They are remnants. The physical body is just manifesting what is happening emotionally, and emotionally connected to your spiritual world. So if you are used to having medication, sar dard ho gaya, okay, let me pop a medicine. That's not the solution. The solution is going inwards and asking yourself, what is it that I ate physically or spiritually that's troubling me?
And the minute you realize and you say, I accept, and now I realize, and I would be more careful, and you will see that aches and pains and heartaches and heartburns fade away because love heals grief. And what is love? It's acceptance. Much higher version of acceptance is love. So it's very beautiful to go inward to understand where are we ticking, what's happening. The brilliant psychotherapist, cellular biologist, and author Dr. Joanne Borsinko was standing next to me, responding to my keynote address, Spiritual Implications of Past Life Therapy, given at the Boston conference. Her blue eyes danced as she related a 10-year-old story. At the time, she was a highly respected researcher on the faculty of Harvard Medical School. During a conference on nutrition in a Boston hotel, at which Joanne was one of the speakers, she happened to run into her boss, who was attending a medical conference in the same hotel. He was surprised to see her there. Back at work, her boss threatened her. If she ever again lent the name of Harvard University to such a frivolous affair as a nutrition conference, she would not be working at Harvard anymore. Times have changed enormously since then. Even at Harvard, not only is nutrition now a mainstream area of teaching and research, but some faculty members at Harvard are confirming and expanding on my work with past life regression therapy. The next weekend, I conducted a 2-day seminar in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Nearly 500 people attended, and again, there was magic. Many people experienced early childhood in utero and past life memories. One participant, a forensic psychiatrist well respected in Puerto Rico, experienced even more. During guided meditation on the second day of the conference, his inner eye perceived the shadowy figure of a young woman. She approached him. Tell them I'm well. Tell them Natasha is well. The psychiatrist felt very silly as he related his experience to the entire group. After all, he knew nobody named Natasha. The name itself is a rarity in Puerto Rico, and the message related by the ghost-like girl had no connection to anything happening in the conference or in his personal life. Does the message have any meaning to anybody here? The psychiatrist asked the audience. Suddenly, a woman screamed in the back of the auditorium, My daughter, my daughter. Her daughter, who had died suddenly in her 20s only 6 months before, was named Anna Natalia. Her mother and only her mother called her Natasha. The psychiatrist had never met nor heard of Natasha or her mother. He was as unnerved by this extraordinary experience as was the mother. When both had regained their composure, Natasha's mother showed him a photo of her daughter. The psychiatrist again grew pale. This was the same young woman whose shadowy figure had approached him with her amazing message. The next weekend, I led a conference in Mexico City. Once again, wonderful magic was breaking out all around me. The familiar arms learning to use flesh feeling was happening with stunning regularity. After meditation, a woman in the audience began to cry happily. She had just experienced a past life memory in which her current husband was her son. She had been a male in a medieval lifetime, and she, the father, had abandoned him. In his present life, her husband has always feared that she would leave him. This fear had no rational basis in the current life. She had never even threatened to leave him. She reassured him constantly, but his overwhelming insecurity devastated his life and was poisoning the relationship. Now she understood the real source of her husband's dread. She rushed to telephone him with the answer and with her reassurance that she would never leave him again. Relationships can sometimes heal incredibly fast. At the end of the second The seminar second day. As I was signing books, a woman came through the line crying softly. Thank you very much. She whispered as she took my hand. You don't know what you have done for me. I've had terrible pains in my upper back for the past 10 years. I've been to doctors here in Houston and Los Angeles. Nobody has been able to help me, and I've suffered terribly. In the past life regression yesterday, I saw myself as a soldier being stabbed in the back just below the neck, just where my pain is. The pain disappeared for the first time in 10 years and still gone. And she was so happy she could not stop smiling and crying. So beautiful. Lately, I've been telling people regression therapy can take weeks or months to work, that they should not get discouraged because the process seems to be going slowly. The lady reminded me that progress can also be unbelievably rapid. As she walked away, I wondered what other miracles the future would bring. The more I see my patients and workshop participants recalling memories of their past lives, and the more I witness their magical and mystical experiences, the more I'm reminded that the concept of reincarnation is only a bridge. The therapeutic results of walking over this bridge are beyond question. People get better even if they don't believe in past lives. The belief of the therapist isn't important either. Memories are elicited and symptoms resolve. So many people, however, become fixated on the bridge rather than the funding, but finding what lies beyond. They obsess about minor details, names, historical accuracies. Their whole focus is on discovering as many details from as many past lives as they can. They're missing the forest for the trees. Reincarnation, again, read this with me. Reincarnation is a bridge to greater knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And there's no rocket science about this. We are reincarnating again and again and again by being already more wise, by being already more knowledgeable, and by understanding much more than possible. Because with our every subsequent birth comes our great wisdom, and yet we don't rely on our wisdom, on our gut feeling, on our higher self's connection with us, because the fears take over. In this spiritual world of ours that we're creating every morning, let's just make our bodies understand that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, which means we have the protection, the knowledge, and the wisdom from eons, from millennials of lives. So, what's to fear? And the day each one of us can discard this fear is the day we can take the leap of faith into absolute positivity, absolute bliss. And that is something I wish for everybody. The therapeutic results of walking over this bridge up beyond question. People get better, even if they don't believe in past lives. The belief of the therapist isn't important either. Memories are elicited and symptoms resolve. So I read this again because I want us to know that this is just a bridge. So whether we believe or whether we don't, whether we want to practice or not, we are healing. Even with the mere knowledge that, yes, we are spiritual beings who've had crazy experiences in past lives, we're healing. Reincarnation reminds us of what we take with us and what we do not, or why we are here, of what we need to accomplish in order to move on. It reminds us of the incredible guidance and help along the way, and of our loved ones returning with us to share our steps and to ease our burdens. How blessed are we to be born with the people that we have loved over lives? And if those people are shaking us, making us, breaking us, challenging us, in Rhonda Byrne's language, they are PETs, personal emotional trainers, it's because we've asked for them. And there's always a divine being within us, which is guiding us, nurturing us, moving us. And yet we resist. Why would that be? It's very important to understand who we are. Chapter number 24, Benjamin Franklin. Finding myself to exist in the world, I believe I shall, in some shape or others, always exist. And with all the inconveniences human life is liable to, I shall not object to a new edition of mine, hoping, however, that the errata of the last may be corrected. So when we're human beings, there are inconveniences going to happen. That's a part of the human experiences. No human in the world has had a completely sailed life where he or she has had zero challenges, zero adversities. So why are we hoping that we have a life which is absolutely flawless? If at a spiritual, at a soul level, we've decided to reincarnate, to learn something, and now those learnings are coming to us in the shape of challenges, why are we resisting them? Over the years, many of my patients have become my teachers. They constantly bring me gifts of their stories, experiences, gifts of their knowledge and spiritual understanding. Some have become my dear friends, sharing their lives as well as their gifts. Years ago, before Many Lives, Many Masters was published, this book is recommended by Pratima ji, and we shall start this book tomorrow morning. And very beautifully, I had been thinking about it, but just never said it. In fact, I thought about starting the book series with that. But, anyways, three is a number of creation, and tomorrow the third book unfolds, which will be this. So, years ago, before Many Lives, Many Masters was published, but after my work with Catherine and dozens of subsequent regression patients, a patient brought in two messages for me. She had received the messages in dreams and wrote them down upon awakening. They came from Philo, a person I too had seen in dreams and later identified in my first book. This patient did not know about my dream experience. The coincidence of the same name was interesting. Did the messages come from her subconscious mind? From an outside source such as Philo? From a forgotten memory of something she had read or heard earlier in her life? Perhaps it does not matter. To paraphrase my daughter, Amy, real is a matter of existence and existed in her mind. My message from Philo also spoke of the mind. Philo says, to BLW, the mind in each of us can comprehend all other things, but is unable to know itself. Or let it say what it is, and hence, whether it is spirit or blood or fire or some other substance or only so much, whether it is corporeal or incorporeal. We are ignorant of when the soul enters the body. You've done good work in guiding beings to recognize the moment it is a good beginning, your friend Philo. The other message came a week later and dealt with the nature of God. To BLW, we must remember that's a abbreviation for Dr. Brian Weiss's name. We must remember too that the transcendent being is the only cause, the father and the creator of the universe, that he fills all things not with his thought only, but with his essence. His essence is not exhausted in the universe, he is above it and beyond. We may say that only his powers are in the universe, but while he is above his powers, he includes them. What they do, he does not, he does through them. Now they're visible, working in the world.
Ritu, we can ask these questions later. Which book are you talking about? The one that we start tomorrow? Many Lives, Many Masters is what we're talking about. Today we're concluding the book Love is Everywhere. Only Love is Real. We may say that only his powers are in the universe, but while he's above his powers, he includes them. What they do, he does through them. Now they're visible working in the world. From their activity, we get a clue to the nature of God. I can perceive great truths in these words, whatever their source. Whenever we want to do an inward journey, it's very important to question, to introspect. What is happening to me? What am I learning? I have met great psychics and mediums, priests and gurus, and I have learned many things from them. Some are incredibly talented and some are not. It has become clear to me that there is no direct correlation between psychic abilities and level of spiritual evolution. I remember a conversation I had with Edgar Mitchell, the well known astronaut and researcher of paranormal phenomena. In his laboratory, Edgar had studied a famous psychic who could affect energies. By doing so, he could move a compass point through a magnetic field and even move objects by the power of his mind, a phenomenon known as telekinesis. Despite this obviously advanced psychic abilities, Edgar noticed that the character and personality of the psychic were definitely not consistent with a high level of spiritual awareness. He was the first to point out to me that psychic abilities and spiritual development are not necessarily connected. I believe the psychic abilities of some people increase as they progress spiritually. As they become more and more aware, there is more of an incidental this is more of an incidental acquisition rather than an essential step. One's ego should not become inflated merely because the level of one's psychic abilities increases. The goal is to learn about love and compassion, about goodness and charity, not about becoming a famous psychic. Even therapists can become extremely psychic if they allow it while working with their patients. Sometimes I can pick up psychic impressions, intuitive knowledge, or even physical impressions relating to the patient sitting in the comfortable chair across from me. A few years ago, I treated a young Jewish woman who was extremely despondent. She was feeling out of place, feeling that somehow she was in the wrong family. The center of both of my palms began to ache with a sharp pain as I talked to her. Couldn't figure out why. I looked at the arms of my leather chair. There was no break in the leather, no sharp edges, no reason for this kind of pain. Yet it was getting even more severe and beginning to sting and to burn. I looked at my hands and I could see no marks, impressions, no cuts, no reason for this. Then a thought appeared suddenly in my mind. This is like being crucified. I decided to ask what this was meant. Why does the crucifixion? What does the crucifixion mean to you? Do you have some connection with Jesus? She just looked at me, face blanching. She had been secretly going to church since she was 8 years old. She had never told her parents about this feeling that she was really Catholic. The sensation in my hands and the connection we had made were able to help my patient break the logjam of her life and to know that she was not crazy, that she was not bizarre, that her feelings had a basis in reality. She began finally to understand that and to heal. Eventually, we found a powerful past life she experienced in Palestine 2000 years ago. We are all psychics and we are gurus. We have merely forgotten. Now, this is something I want all of us to remember. हम सब psychics हैं. We can read. We are all gurus. We all have a teacher in us because the teacher is so freaking wise. We have forgotten all of that. That's the reason we are again tuned into these morning sessions. It's not like we don't know about them. It's just that they're coming to us now, once again. And that's the reason why most of us, when we read, we find content very familiar because we know about this. And this line is said, I will also add to it that we are all healers also. Once we all decide at a spiritual and a soul level that we can heal ourselves and others, we will not be dependent on any kind of artificial medication or supplementation. The body has a beautiful pharmacy and it creates whatever it requires to heal. If we trust that process, then we are already healed. Half the battle won. A patient asked me about Sai Baba, a great holy man in India. Is he an avatar, a divine incarnation, a descent of deity to earth in an incarnate form? I don't know, I replied. But in some sense, aren't we all? We are all gods. God is within us. We should not be distracted by psychic abilities for those that are merely signposts along the way. We need to express our divinity and our love by good deeds, by service. Perhaps no one should be anyone else's guru for longer than a month or two. Repeated trips to India are not necessary since the real journey lies within. And this is something which is meant for all of us. We are all seeking something somewhere, but that something somewhere is inside us, present all the time. So the best answer is tune inwards. Their distinct beliefs to have one's own transcendent experiences, to begin opening up to the realization of the divine, to the understanding that life is so much more than meets the eye. Oftentimes, you don't believe if you don't see it. Our path is an inward one. This is more difficult path, the more painful journey. We bear the responsibilities for our own learning. This responsibility cannot be externalized, and dumped on someone else or some guru. The kingdom of God is within you. Epilogue. I'm certain that I have been here as I am now 1,000 times before, and I hope to return 1,000 times, says God. From time to time, I hear from Elizabeth and Pedro. They're happily married now and live in Mexico, where Pedro has become involved in politics in addition to his work and his businesses. Elizabeth cares for the beautiful little girl who has long brown hair and loves picking flowers from the garden and chasing the butterflies that flutter around her. Thank you for everything Elizabeth wrote recently. We are so happy and we owe so much of it to you. I don't believe they owe me anything. I don't believe in coincidences. I helped them to meet and they would not have met anyway, even without me. That's how destiny works. When allowed to flow freely, love overcomes all obstacles. And this is, my dear, a beautiful line for us to conclude this morning's reading session. When we control our destiny, we are feeling that we're controlling it. But when we allow it to freely by trusting the process, love shall make its own way, shall share it, shall move it beautifully. All right, everybody, let's start our meditation. Get comfortable. I strongly suggest lying down, but even if you're comfortably seated on recliner or however, so these after meditations, after our sessions, need you to get comfortable. If you're on a sofa, you can slouch a bit, it's all right. The idea is for your physical body to become comfortable. Backs will any which ways be straight. I mean, as in, even if you're lounging, it's fine for this meditation. That's what I'm trying to say. So in the morning, you want your energy to move from the root chakra to your Sahasrara chakra. That's the reason it's you. I expect it to be straight because you're beginning the morning. But now you're going into some lesson for the day. And to all the writers in the group, if you can share what your meditation was that day, it'll become like a journal for yourself. So whether you write on a book and share the picture, or whether you just write on the group, please do that. It'll help not only you but others also. So every meditation, every day will bring up something new. So don't feel that what do I write? There was nothing about it. But if you are grateful, if you're blessed, and if you let your subconscious mind take over, there are magics. Yesterday I got it from the meditation 9:40. I don't put alarm these days. I just close the session and I go into my own meditation. 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 40 minutes of bliss. So much of learning, such a powerful time. So I'm not saying everybody has a liberty for that much time, but even if it's 10 minutes, allow your body to just meditate. So, all right, everyone, get comfortable, close your eyes, and concentrate on your breathing. Intentionally take a deep breath in and a deeper breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, exhale. As I'm talking, keep doing deep inhalation, exhalation. It's preparing our body to tap into subconscious mind. My voice would take you to deeper realms of your subconscious mind as I do a back counting from 7 to 1. 7. You are deeply breathing and deeply taking the process of coming in and going out. 6. You're tuning inwards. It's already begun. 5. All the 5 elements of Mother Earth, nature, are with you in your inward journey. 4. Trust the 4 directions to guide you inward. 3. The creation, the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, are helping you create, preserve, and destroy this given moment. 2. Your conscious mind is letting the subconscious mind take over. 1. You've begun. Now, see yourself walking into a tunnel, a dark tunnel. It's got a lot of doors on the left and the right. But you're being guided to walk straight. At the end of the tunnel, there's light. You can see it. And you're walking towards it, maybe sprinting, maybe running. And now there's light. Feel the healing. Feel the basking in the attention of light and see what's unfolding for you right here, right now. It's begun.